Alright guys, so welcome back to the AoE 3 DE 2022 DM Extravaganza tournament hosted by XXDM Clan, and we've got LongDong, LongDong up against Lenker Lapisotilas, I think was the team name for these guys over here. And I'll just turn down that scroll speed because it's just fucking ridiculous. Alright, so getting into the swing of things, we've got some mercantilism coming out from our players, no doubt looking to get those quick cards on the way. Really nice stuff for Lenker here. No church on the way just yet for Lapisotilas, is that how you say it? LongDong. Getting this consulate tech. A church here for Zavaria as well. Don't know why the sounds are so much. I might have to restart the game after this cast. I'll go for a cheeky smoke as well. So a Minuteman v Minuteman push here. So the Dutch player playing really quite a standard DM rush opening here at the moment. In fact, Lenker's even going to follow it up with a bit of turtling. So walling coming out from all our players here. Yet it's only going to be quite a short game. So the paradox of Deathmatch, most games are only going to be quite short. Even though you're starting out with all this late game stuff and you've got this huge bank, you know, you're only going to get the opportunity to trade 2 or 3 times well before you're going to have to really well, maybe even only once or twice depending on the resource distribution in your army, before you've got to actually look at really ecoing up. Obviously being late game, I mean, it's post-industrial with no chance to go to Imperial, but yeah, compared to Supremacy, you can actually sort of catch up on vills behind this initial big boom of trying to get a nice 100 or so pop army just to defend and push with. So our players looking at getting town centers around the map and trying to wall up a couple of layers worth. But there's raids going down, so we got Lenker, the big army of these writers, because these guys, 1 pop mounted anti-cav. So if that ain't busted, I don't know what is, man. But a nice little engagement going on here. So the purple and blue team number 2, yeah, got quite a few units, but not a great engagement because those flaming arrows from the Japanese player LongDong, he's going to really be able to pressure this mainly infantry based army, and he's even going to be able to get some good shots off on the war wagons. But while this is going on, there's some raiding going on now by Lenker on Zavaria. Don't know if focusing the houses is the way to go, but I think he's going to switch it up and go for all the settlers, which is definitely what he should be focusing here. But this massive engagement here, the Japanese player in LongDong is really pressuring Lapisotilas on the Germans. But I mean, the war wagons, pretty good unit against an anti-infantry and against an anti-infantry siege unit, especially with some anti-infantry cav in the way to support. But there is a bunch of longbowmen into support coming from Zavaria, so these guys have a bit of a range advantage over all this other stuff out in the field. But Zavaria having to dedicate a bit of time sending goons home to clean up all the rioters on his mills, so he's done a good job at really getting a good number of villages. Being British, as he gets his houses, he's going to get extra settlers for doing so. While there's a bunch of rioters in the base of LongDong at the moment, so they are going to get cleaned up by the samurai. Some nice value there from those trades. But LongDong, I think, really has not a lot in the bank at the moment. He's really had to max out a heap, and he's relying on cover for his siege with these culverins that Zavaria's managed to field. But there is a huge amount of horse guns at the back here, really able to chip away at this big ball of Yumi archers of LongDong. Again, his score is really dipping below all the others at the moment, but Zavaria's got the largest score, so his bank is going to be quite significant over everybody at the moment. Things fairly even between Lapisotilas and Lenker at the moment, with Lenker having played a little bit aggressively, sort of buy his teammate and himself a bit of breathing room, but we've got this massive engagement happening once again, with blue and orange going to town over here, and purple and red over here. But I think LongDong, now that he's transitioned to a whole bunch of Naginata riders, and they've got a buff from something here, it's really helping them take this fight. Colves at the back there for Lapisotilas, but there's Colves raining fire down on them, and some more Mortaru to Amaewo Shindaru your walls. So massive ball of ranged here with some Yumi archers, and he's also got some Ashigaru in the mix as well, just to whittle down the war wagons. They'll trade a little bit better against the war wagons, even some samurai in the mix just to force the war wagons to run back, because these guys, I think they even deal area damage. You have to correct me if I'm wrong. But Lenker looking to go for a raid because he's got a mass of writers and he's got all these skirms, although the skirms can't really engage on those horse guns. They are going to provide good cover against all this infantry that is a little bit shorter range that LongDong has. Lapisotilas and LongDong really suffering for resources at the moment, and there is a raid of Zavaria's managed to rocket. He's managed to rocket drop Lenker here, so he somehow snuck a town center down here. I don't know how he's done this, getting villagers or an outpost, a bloody caravan wagon over here, and he's managed to get rockets pumping. He's going to get native units pumping while he's still helping push into Lapisotilas base alongside LongDong. So Zavaria's done this, pushing with LongDong into Lapisotilas base. So what happened there? Oh, why? I don't know who actually won that game, but man, that was looking spicy until the DC. Fuck.